So, so in just 7 days, she went from 25 hot flashes a day to 3 hot flashes a day. And so you may say, well, how did that happen? Teach you about that in the hormone fix. It takes more than hormones to fix your hormones. It takes more than hormones to fix your hormones. So I think that's really important to understand and why her hot flashes went down. And this happened, I started understanding this because in 2014, I created my keto green hormone detox. And then in 2015, I took it online and people were saying, I hadn't seen them. I hadn't prescribed them any hormones. And they were like, Dr. Anna, my hot flashes are gone. In just 2 weeks, my hot flashes are gone. This is through my Magic Menopause program, which was the basis for a editor out of New York or an agent out of New York getting me to write the Hormone Fix, which we published in 2019. Cutting edge information, you guys, so important. And to see that the big misunderstanding for hot flashes is that it's, partially estrogen is in there to blame, but then how did my client reduce her hot flashes in just 7 days? It's because insulin is a bigger culprit. Insulin resistant um, highs and lows in blood glucose really do affect your body's thermoregulation, your internal temperature, and that's why it can shift. That's why you can get great results very quickly. So I want you to post any questions you have about chapters 3, 4, and 5, and my team is going to put the link to the handout. We had chapters 1, 2, and 3 handout last week, and today we're going through chapters 3, 4, and 5, and we're going to put the link. My team is going to put the link. If you need a handout, just direct message handout, and my team will come in and give you that handout. Okay, they'll send you that message. But if you check your email from yesterday morning on my email list, check your email on yesterday morning, and at the PS, it has the link to the PDF. So Brooke said, so do you prescribe low carb keto for hormonal control? I prescribe keto green for hormone control. And I say if you think about it this way, 10% fasting, 80% keto green, 10% feasting. That's a good rhythm to get into for hormonal balance and see how your body does with it. First and foremost, what gets measured gets managed. So important things to consider are these questionnaires that are in chapter 2 and the 4 key hormonal tests that make such a big difference. And it's really important because I know you guys are listening, because my clients are coming in and saying, this is my HSCRP, this is my hemoglobin A1C. And this is all information in chapter 2. I had a patient the other day. She came in, she's very amazing, runs 2 businesses, has real estate all over the country. And she, hadn't been in for a couple years to a doctor doing her routine stuff, but she filled out my hormone symptom questionnaire and her score, or my medical symptom questionnaire, the MSQ, and her score was 97. Her score was in the 90s, and I don't like it above 10. You guys, if you do that MSQ and your score is above 10, we're really ramping up detoxification support. This is really where we have to add in additional supplementation support, really look at our environment. Where are we getting toxic burden? And she goes, no, I feel fine. I'm like, well, you've got a very crazy high MSQ. It's and I'm like, one thing I can tell you is that you don't realize how bad you're feeling till you start feeling good again sometimes. But then I got her, we did lab work, and her inflammatory marker was sky high, like 40 times what it should be. So that tells me there's underlying inflammation. Also tells me and reminds me that women power through even though they don't feel good. Even though your body is screaming for help, is screaming for, attention, something to change, you're still powering through. And this becomes your normal. Living in pain, living in brain fog, living in anxiety, whatever it may be, it's really important to do this. So you guys, in your hands, now in paperback, makes it so easy. I know I don't like to fold back books. I don't like to fold back books or turn, dog ear pages, but it does make it nice when it's in paperback. Travel Queen said, what is the inflammatory marker? HS, the one that from my 4-key test, it's a HSCRP, highly sensitive C-reactive protein, or cardio C-reactive protein. Let's see. Anna said, how can you lower that? And I don't know what you're asking about lowering, Anna. So lowering what? Yeah. All right. Okay. And again, for you guys who are here, just direct message handout to get the handout. And I'm going to go ahead and share that in a second. Great. Michelle asked a chapter 3 question. Hi, Michelle. She said, does it matter what time of day we are in ketosis and optimal pH? Is the goal to be that way upon awakening? As a follow-up, can you please go over the test strips again? Do we want to be higher numbers for pH and keto and low for uric acid? Yes, exactly. Amira, can you grab me the keto pH strips? And I'll go over those. So I know that can be confusing. All right. So the big thing is that with ideally, I want you for a while, first and foremost, to wake up with an alkaline pH, a urine pH of 7 or greater. And I want you to eventually be waking up in ketosis in this fat burning stage. And for this client who diminished her hot flashes from 25 to 3 in a day, she was in ketosis and struggling between 6 and 7 alkalinity. That's not uncommon, but we definitely want to address that. All right. So chapter 3 is what is the hormone fix? And in here, I talk about, that honestly, what we eat is 25% of the whole picture. 75% is the lifestyle. When we eat, how often we eat, who we're eating with. I mean, if you're stressed out and you're eating on the run or whatever, that is not good for your body. So like paying attention to those things. So 25% of the whole picture is what we eat. The lifestyle changes make up the other 75%. And so I go into how I started the hormone fix and the keto green, my keto green lifestyle. And on page 43, I want to realize, Anna was asking about the hot flashes and lowering insulin resistant. Lowering insulin resistant, we do that through getting into ketosis with intermittent fasting and no snacking. That makes a huge difference to be able to get rid of those hot flashes. So great question. All right. Let's see. Okay, so on page 43, it says, worth noting is that our ancestors got up with the sun and walked an average of 10 miles a day, staking out new settlement possibilities, exploring uncharted territories, or searching for food. At night, they went to bed just after dark. Depending on the time of year, they probably got 8 to 10 hours of sleep. This ancient nomadic lifestyle meant that they often endured extended periods of time without eating. Today, we call that intermittent fasting. By design, that's how we were designed. But today we call that intermittent fasting. And it is how we are designed to live, periods of feasting, periods of fasting. But, grazing all day is not for the humans in our animal kingdom. Okay. So that's a really powerful saying. And I also want to bring up, because on page 44, I talk about polycystic ovarian syndrome. And by design, the keto green plan really helps. So if you're a mom cooking at home and you've got a teenage daughter who's experiencing PCOS, this it's important for her. So I want to read this to you, and we'll get into some more questions. So I recall many times when moms tearfully brought their young teen daughters to see me. After starting their periods, these girls began gaining weight, along with getting terrible acne and suffering from cramps and moodiness. They worried that they were destined to be fat and ugly. Hmm. What I told these beautiful young women was that they don't have fat genes, but they do have Pocahontas genes or Amazonian genes, warrior genes, that you're designed to be a leader. You're designed to build muscle. You are a survivor by through your genetics. You are not designed for the standard American diet and lifestyle. You are not designed to be sitting sedentary 10 hours a day. Quite the opposite. So important to recognize what we're designed for. And that statement is empowering. You don't have fat genes, you have amazing warrior genes or Amazonian genes or, maybe Viking genes, whatever it might be, Native American, amazing genes. I mean, this is important to understand. And so it is empowering. And I especially want moms and daughters to know this together. So on page 45, ketosis prevents insulin resistance. It's amazing. I've seen hemoglobin A1Cs drop significantly. I had one client, her hemoglobin A1C dropped from 6.0 to 5.4 in just over 1 month, which is crazy because normally we wait 2 months to measure. So we wouldn't have expected such a significant difference. But we see it over and over and over again and quickly, which is powerful. We talk about what else ketosis does. It optimizes your blood sugar. It tames your appetite. So you're not hungry. Willpower is physiologic. That's the beauty of this. Willpower is physiologic. And ketosis improves memory. That's a really big thing. And I teach about this, and I wrote more about this in Keto Green 16, that our brains in perimenopause, in general, our brains depend on glucose for fuel. Gluconeogenesis in the brain's ability to produce glucose for fuel is hormone dependent. Progesterone, estrogen, we know it's estrogen dependent, most likely progesterone dependent. The sharp decline in hormones that we get, progesterone that we get, leads to a sharp increase from age 35 to 55 in symptoms like brain fog, anxiety, memory loss. And it's quite frustrating. I had seen someone also recently who'd been struggling with anxiety and depression. And her hormones were never evaluated other than a TSH. They said, well, you're still having your period. Your hormones are fine. You're not in menopause. That's when your periods stop. There's really no testing that needs to be done. Ooh, wow. Yeah. So I have a lot to say about that. There are 4 key tests that are non-hormonal that can say a lot about your health. So let's check on those. But also, this client had significantly low estrogen, significantly low testosterone, and her progesterone on cycle day 21 was 1. It should be 15. That blew my mind because she still was getting irregular periods, but she was definitely perimenopausal. And so just by optimally following, again, hormone replenishment, get your body to detox the chemicals and hormones that are disrupting your body's natural production, and let's produce more. For her, I added on Mighty Maca, my supplement greens, had her follow the 10-day keto green hormone detox, and added on progesterone for the second half of her cycle. Game changing in how she felt, how she showed up. Her anxiety diminished, her periods became much more regular, and she felt tremendously better. Mood and memory were improved. That makes a difference. So I think there's so much to look at. Also, how we detoxify hormones. Probably some of the most important hormones to check are vitamin D, prohormone level, and then our estrogen metabolites. How are we detoxifying hormones? It's important to look at too. Okay. So a lot on ketosis. Let me see if I had any questions here. Karen said, Dr. Anna, just wants you to know that my husband says you're his hero. Well, thank you very much. Well, tell me why. I love that. Thank you very, very much. Aw. All right. Let's see here. Some other questions from Facebook. Um, okay, let's see. Question from Facebook. Any questions about, any changes or updates on supplements or menu plan since the Hormone Fix was published? There's no changes in the menu plan. It's amazing. We're using this clinically. In practice, we are recommending this. It's perfect. From the Hormone Fix, 13 to 16 hours intermittent fasting, we go to Keto Green 16 with 16 hours intermittent fasting and a longer 72-hour optional fast with a few different options. And Menu Pause are my 6-day programs, varying. So a little bit different in each of the books. And we're going to hit the supplement chapter later on this month in book club. Okay. And then we talk about the important role of alkalinity and why I like you to check your urine pH. Hey, Amira. Sorry, Amira, if you could bring me the urine pH test strips. Thank you. So we'll be able to show those. Okay. So alkalinity, check for urine pH and make sure that you're at least a 7, hopefully 7 to 8 in the morning when you wake up. I have them over there somewhere. The urine pH test strips. We had some questions about them, so I want to make sure I explain that. Alkalinity helps your bones, your heart. It prevents magnesium deficiency. And this is really important. When I first started doing Keto Green 16, and we weren't even talking intermittent fasting in women. We weren't even talking about ketosis in women. So what I found is that we needed the alkaline part, or we go keto crazy. We feel bad. We have a very high urinary acid level, so a low urinary pH, which is associated with bone loss, was associated with inflammation, etc. So it was really important to add the greens, the alkalinizers, the bone broth as part of the program, to add these alkalinizers in, the mineral salt. So now a lot of the fasting and intermittent fasting and ketosis communities are really on that same thought process now too, as well as research based, to add the minerals back in. We have to get minerals in to save our body. Our blood pH or arterial blood gas pH isn't going to change very much at all, except under extreme circumstances. But our urinary pH will, and that is a sign not just of our nutritional balance and mineral balance, it's also a sign of stress, cortisol. So more on that in the next chapter. All right. So the way the Keto Green diet works to fix your hormones, it balances your hormones, helps you drop and release fat, enhances your libido, improves your energy, gets you to sleep better, and gets rid of inflammation. So that's the goal in all of this. In chapter 4, we go over the get started. Oh yeah, let me go ahead. If you're watching on Facebook, I want to make sure that you guys have the handout. Find it. Okay. Hold on here. Let me share. Okay. So here we go. In chapter 4, we're going to talk about why there. That's good to see. There we go. Okay. Here, let's talk about why detoxing is important for your health. So why detoxing is important for your health. And do you know why detoxing is important for your health? Lucy Marie says, hi, doctor. Hi, Lucy. So why is detoxing important for your health? go ahead and put a note in the chat box or comment box. And Book Blogger said, I use Mighty Maca and for as a supplement, and Julva. They help so much. I think I need to go Keto Green and do the test strips. My team will put a link in because we are doing the Keto Green 16 challenge. And that is for the biggest discount that we give for our bundle of products. So I want you to, we'll share that with you, Keto Green 16 challenge. And my team will put that in the comments, the notes. And again, you can direct message and my team will send you the link for that. It's 30% off. So it's a huge discount. Food, Family, and Travel said, can men use Julva on their penis skin or penile skin? Absolutely. It's perfectly safe for men in comparison to estrogen. You don't want guys to soak up too much estrogen, but DHEA is perfectly fine and beneficial. They can use it on their penis and you can use it as a lubricant. It can also be on their testicles. Okay. Sherry Lynn said, how to get started with your program. Just message us. We've got you on this. And we will give you a link for that. But the Hormone Fix can be bought anywhere that you buy books. So Amazon, et cetera. It's not too late to join. Not even halfway through the book yet, but a good portion of it is recipes. So you'll get that too. Right, you guys. Oh, Karen said, you're my husband's hero because of Julva. I am so glad. I hear that quite often. I'm really glad. And, and hopefully yours too, because that connection, a patient said the other day, she goes, we restored her intimacy. And that's something that her and her husband had missed. And being able to do that again was just magical. So, Judy said, I'm working on the Keto Green plan and I need to eat snacks. You definitely need to try adding more protein and fats to your meals and give your body time to eliminate those snacks, but usually you can do it very, very quickly. So you'll be able to do that. Holly Aiken said, I agree about Julva. Thank you. All right. So important. Why is detoxing important? What did you put in your comments here? Let's see. I have to go into this page. Doing a lot here. Okay. Lowering insulin resistance. Absolutely. A lot of good reasons. Lowering insulin resistance, improving skin, reducing hot flashes. A lot of good reasons, right? A lot of good reasons. So let's try this again. All right. So, and then what is estrogen dominant symptoms? You guys, this is on your handout, your book club notes. So, some of the symptoms of estrogen dominance, ED also stands for erectile dysfunction, but here it means estrogen dominance. And how can you excrete estrogen? How can you body metabolize estrogen safely? Also, what are 4 foods or drinks that you should eliminate immediately? And as you go through this food list, what are some foods, detoxifying foods that you would enjoy? I just had cut up some onions and garlic to add to our Boss Burgers from my friend's book, the Smart Family Cookbook, Sean Modell's cookbook. And so it was really good. All right. But those are important detoxifiers. Okay, let's see here. We talk, we have list of vegetables. Plus, remember with the Hormone Fix, you have a book bonus page. So if you don't have that, be sure to sign up for our email list. We'll make sure to get these notes out to you. And so at dranna.com/subscribe, you can get these notes and a link to the book bonus page. Or just direct message us and my team will help you. Okay. All right. Chapter 5 is the 10-day Keto Green Quick Start. I know we're running out of time here, so let me answer some more of the questions that came in. And let's see here. Um, from YouTube, Delpha said I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's a couple years back. And then after medication, I was also looking like my thyroid was showing signs of Graves' disease. So the biggest thing is with Hashimoto's, it's a sign of it's an autoimmune thyroid disorder. So what we look for, what improves Hashimoto's and what we've seen universally improve antibodies is the keto green plan. We have to understand what is going on. Is the Graves caused by a thyroid tumor? What else is going on? We really need to figure that out. But gluten-free, dairy-free, figuring out your food sensitivity is really part of the detective work to get to the bottom of what caused the abnormality in the first place. Jillian said, thanks for doing this. I would love if you'd circle back for what levels we're aiming for on the strips and what times of day you recommend checking. So when you really start keto green, and you can get pH test strips anywhere. Oh, and Zella said, what part can men do? Men can do the entire program. We've had them do this program in clinic settings. Dr. Angela Akey out of Gainesville, Florida, runs the keto green plan for her male and female clients. So this is important. But you can get urine pH test strips from any pharmacy. The pH paper, that's first and foremost. You can get separate ketone strips. I created these with ketones, pH, and uric acid on them. So let's talk about these strips. First, when you guys buy this, there's 50 that are loose in here. And it's important that the container does not sit in direct sunlight. It's an opaque container because that affects the pH. And then in here is another foil pack that has another 50. So you have 100 strips together in here. And so the test strips between ketones and pH, there's a blank white pad on here because ketone is an acidic pad and pH is more of an alkaline pad. And you can get a runoff between the two if they were sitting right next to each other. So so after our first round way back in 2015, I put a white pad in here to kind of create a blotter effect for that cross contamination between the two. And that works really well. The bottom pad is uric acid. So uric acid in cases is high uric acid is associated with gout. We used to have, when I started practicing medicine 30 years ago, we had uric acid was part of our chem profile, a regular chemistry, looking at glucose, protein, liver function. We also looked at uric acid. That has since been taken out. But that's one of those important markers that are really important to understand, especially if you have a family history of diabetes, heart disease, polycystic ovary syndrome, any of that. You want to check that uric acid. And also if you're doing carnivore, you've been following a keto plan for a while, and are fasting significantly. When I fast for over 36 hours, my uric acid goes really, really high. When I was doing my extended carnivore plan and longer fast, I started to notice left big toe pain. And it wasn't until a conversation on my podcast, the Girlfriend Doctor Show with Dr. David Perlmutter, that I put two and two together. And all I knew is that, gosh, sometimes when I was doing that yoga pose, going from downward dog or from chaturanga down into downward dog, rolling over my big toe, it was like excruciating. Well, uric acid was building up. And so I am a high uric acid former. So that propensity for, let's say, energy conservation. In other words, it's challenging to lose weight. It's harder to keep it off. All of those important things. So uric acid is just part of my survival genetics that was designed to keep me and our heritage, our lineage alive, right? So the high uric acid formers in periods of starvation and drought and all that good stuff comes in really, really handy. In standard American, not so handy. So looking at these levels. Now, these, granted, it's between negative and trace, there's a fine line here. Between negative and trace, there's a fine line. So it's really hard. You really notice the difference when you bump it up. For pH, the middle one, you want to get it green, like at least a pH of 7, that's neutral, and a little bit higher. So start turning that green. If it's not turning, if it's staying yellow, that's a problem. Ketones, you want to get it just to the nutritional ketosis is a blood value of 0.5. On the urine test strips, it's really hard to see that 0.5 to 0. Like, are you negative? Are you positive? Not quite sure. So just doing a little extended fasting, you'll bump it up to the pinker region, and then you're spilling 1+ ketones, and that's perfect. But even trace ketones is a win. Now, the uric acid, it's a little harder to read this grayscale uric acid. We want it less than 700. Between 300 and 700, if you can't tell, you're probably okay. But when you start getting that darker gray, 700, you're forming a lot of uric acid. Add in additional minerals, add in additional greens. I just cooked up some zucchini and some arugula salad with broccoli sprouts. Those are huge alkalinizers, and then add additional minerals. So let me know if that answered your question, Jillian. So I think it's really important to test, don't guess, because then you can optimize your physiology, and it's cheap. You can get on your own, you can get ketone strips, urine pH paper, uric acid test, all of this you can get and check yourself. For blood, you can do blood ketones. I use the Keto Mojo. For uric acid, you can do a blood test for uric acid as well and just see where you're at. We want your number to be 4.3 or less, but normal is normal, not optimal, because we're, over 60% of Americans are obese. We're struggling with that, and associated with that is high uric acid formation. Normal is now like 4 to 8 is considered normal. And that's just for definition. If you're 8 or higher, yes, you're diagnosed with gout. But look, when you're over 4.3, you're metabolically stalled. Important to understand. Okay. So, all right. Cian said, okay, if I've missed your question, put it in the question, flag it or re-enter it. I know we're getting a lot of questions here. And if you're just joining, we are doing chapters 3, 4, and 5 in the Hormone Fix. If you don't have your handout or book bonuses, message my team and we will get them. Be sure you're on our email list. We're emailing out about a lot of good stuff we're doing and giving you these handouts and everything. So Cian said, I went into surgical menopause 14 years ago, got a pap test, vaginal exam due to pinkish spotting, and thank God it was normal. Was prescribed estradiol cream to use at least for 1 month. Can I use this with Jolva cream? Absolutely. She said, I asked for a test of DHEA and cortisol. She said the insurance would only cover estradiol and FSH. What test would you recommend? Chapter 2 in the Hormone Fix on my testing. There's key tests that I recommend plus comprehensive testing. And one of my team members will put a link to Ultra Lab Test where you can self-test. Now, for a cortisol, blood cortisol is not very predictive, not very accurate. But if you do an adrenal stress index over the course of a day, looking at morning cortisol when you first wake up, 30 minutes later, midday around noon, 4 p.m., and bedtime, that gives you what's happening in cortisol throughout the day. Sometimes I check these levels and they're flatlined, like barely detectable cortisol all day. Or another client I saw recently, her cortisol was okay in the morning, but then by the end of the day, it was sky high. And she's so wired at the end of the day and was, so we have to reset that circadian rhythm. It makes a big difference. And yes, Cian, to just again emphasize, you can definitely use Jolva with estradiol. And it's really important not to forget the other important anatomical areas of your pelvic floor. The vagina, yes, very important, but clitoris to anus, the most important anatomy of your body. Oh, good. Amy is here helping me out. Thank you so much, Amy. She's an amazing resource. You guys in the Keto Green, 16 challenge we have going on, coming soon. My team members are there. Amy is there. Chelsea and Jeannie, mother-daughter team extraordinaire, have been doing Keto Green since my first Magic Menopause program. Jeannie has. So great to see you guys here. Anna said, how do we get rid of cellulite after losing a lot of weight? Intermittent fasting, dry brushing, physical tension. So using the foam rollers that are a little bit hard. You can do things like that to really help with reducing that scarring from cellulite, and just clean diet, detox is supporting your detox mechanism. Cellulite is often a marker of inflammation, or impaired detoxification. Toxins, our fat is designed to protect our body, protect us, and we store toxins in our fat. So as we start releasing fat, that's where we want to add additional detoxifiers. The menus in the Hormone Fix and all my books are designed to support phase 1 and phase 2 detoxification, hopefully. Okay, I know we're running out of time here, but okay, let's see. You guys, have you liked book club? Has this been good to go through the Hormone Fix and to visit with you weekly and answer questions? I'd only plan to do this in September and October. We are doing Keto Green 16 challenge. So stay with us. Stay with us. All right, let's see here. Michelle said, if we're using maca, do we still need to supplement with estrogen cream? Can you discuss side effects of too much maca? I feel too much exacerbates my hot flashes. It's really important. You are an N of 1 to see how your body is responding. In this case, I would look at, okay, well, how is your estrogen detoxification look? 2,4,16 hydroxy and methoxy estrogen pathway. That can tell us a lot to see what, to help you to see what's going on. But I would look. I use only Mighty Maca. I don't use straight maca. So dosages above 3,500 milligrams of maca can have some side effects associated with it. We just don't get, we don't get up that high. So Mighty Maca Plus has 600 milligrams of organic Peruvian maca per scoop. And even if you're doing 4 scoops a day, it's 2,400 milligrams of maca. So, all right. So let me know how you do with that. All right. So with Marie said, I'm excited to get started. I've done keto carnivore for over a year. I also do 4 days of strength training and 1 spin class a week. Haven't seen any results yet. Well, we look forward to you. I'm glad you're here. Let's see how you do with Keto Green and checking urine pH. I mean, test, don't guess. We can think we're doing keto, but maybe we are, not in ketosis, and checking urine. If you've been in ketosis for a long time, you won't see ketones show up. And I write about this on the urine test strip. But if you just done 1 day of feasting in between, you will start to see the urine ketones show up again. Otherwise, just confirm with a blood ketone test. Okay. Let's see. Yes. Cindy said, due to all of the toxins that we're exposed to every day, toxins affect our liver and kidneys. This is why we support all the detoxification pathways. All right, let's see. Bridget said, if I can't join the challenge right now, when's the next time it will be offered? We offer it periodically at the beginning of the year. We'll probably offer it again, but you can do it on your own too. Amy wrote in, detoxing prevents hormone imbalance, estrogen dominance, for example, inflammation, cellular damage, and disease. Thank you. Renee said, I signed up for the Keto Green 16 challenge. It would be a great start for fall. Awesome. Let's see here. Great comments. Amy wrote, estrogen dominance is breast swelling and tenderness, cramps, bloating, headaches, irritability, anxiety, depression, food cravings, brain fog, sleep difficulties, and lower libido. So true. All right. Let's see. Kim had said, I get stuck at a pH of 6.5. Is there any quick fix? Add another scoop of Mighty Maca, add minerals to your water. Make sure you're drinking electrolytes. You can add some lemon juice and baking soda to water and or to your Mighty Maca, and that can push up for sure, push up your pH, make you more alkaline. Krista said, can't wait for my book and sleep aid tabs. Those are my night Z's. All right. Amy asks, on behalf of a member who couldn't attend, she said, I have insulin resistance and my fasting glucose has gone up in the past 2 weeks from the 90s most days to 107 to 126 every morning. She says, I am not seeing it go below 100 after meals. I've not cheated. I'm staying keto green. I'm guessing that I just need to stick with it and it eventually come down. I did call my practitioner and they said they're fine with fasting and the foods I'm eating. So the question is there any significant stress? Where is your mindset in this? Cortisol increases glucose. Cortisol increases glucose. So if there's stress going on, this is stressful for you, then, or there's stress in your life, certainly that can raise your glucose. So it's a really important question. So I would say focus on your pH. Are you getting alkaline? When are you eating? How are you doing with the intermittent fasting? And let's see how we can get you. All right. Amy asks, is higher uric acid universal while fasting? No, not specifically. No, there's some people that say they've been fasting. They can do extensive fast and they don't get an elevated uric acid. However, over an extended fasting period, extended fasting intervals of time for sure, most people will start to see an increase in uric acid. Once the fasting stops, it should come back down to normal. Lisa Gordon said, hey, girl. Hey, Lisa, you're all in this detox keto green now. I know it. So Bridget said, what is the difference between the 10-day kickstart in the book and the 16-day challenge? The 16-day challenge is with 16 key foods and food groups and 16 hours of intermittent fasting. So this is a good first step for sure and a good exercise to do. And different foods, different menus, different plan. Same core concepts. Kim said, I'd love to take advantage of the 30% off. Already have the books and strips. Yes, then just message my team and they will get you in the Keto Green 16 challenge. All right. Bridget says she loves book club. Holly definitely loves book club. Jillian said it's amazing. Thank you. You guys are so welcome. So welcome. All right. So spread the word, share with your friends the Keto Green, the Hormone Fix, and the Keto Green 16 challenge. You guys, to get the handouts, you want to, and it's important, it's great to make notes and take notes for yourself so you can see how you're doing. And to refer back to this as a reminder, you're going to go through this book again and again because there's so much good information, so much research behind every chapter in this book, and so much clinical research just validated over and over again to help you, to help you breeze through menopause into the second spring of your life. Jamie wrote, been menopausal for about 18 months, was using Mighty Maca and vitamin D until about 9 months ago, started bleeding again. Previously had problems with fibroid. So the goal, like a lot of times we use the Keto Green plants to help with fertility, to resuscitate the ovaries, to improve ovarian response prior to in vitro or IVF transfers. And it increases, the longer we improve our ovarian function, the healthier we are. Any postmenopausal bleeding has to be worked up by your physician. You need a pelvic ultrasound to evaluate and a look at the endometrial lining. That's a measure of the endometrial stripe. We don't like it postmenopausally be greater than 6 millimeters. If it is, we recommend an endometrial biopsy. So Jamie, definitely get this worked up and let's see what's going on. It could be that we've had clients who didn't have a period for over a year, some for close to 2 years, and they started cycling again because they're and again worked up, just complete reboot of their ovaries, which is a marker for longevity. the longer we have a very healthy ovarian function, in general, the higher quality of love. Shirley said, I love the book club. Thank you. Mackenzie, Carla, love the information. Lucy said, do you have any products for breast pain or soreness due to peri or menopause? We always start with, like, when we're having breast pain, breast issues, detox, hormone fix detox, add in Mighty Maca. Progesterone often helps. I have a couple good friends with products. Magdalena Wishlaki has the Happy Sisters. She has pills and a topical herbal concoction that goes on the breast. And another good friend of mine who uses the active ingredient from cabbage in their product called Cabo Cream, CABO cream. And that applied topically, those are two topical solutions that can really help. For fibrocystic breast in general, increasing your iodine, if you don't have thyroid antibodies, you can increase your iodine-rich foods, supplement with iodine, add in gamma-linoleic acid from evening primrose oil or black currant oil, and incorporate more of that into your nutritional regimen. And typically we see a significant improvement. And again, it can be estrogen dominant. So clearing out excess estrogen is important. So other products, like when we talk about supplements, let's see here, somewhere here, 81. Supplementing your diet on page 81. We talk about a few key supplements: a multivitamin, mineral, omega-3 fish oil, vitamin C, magnesium, a probiotic, and those are key. So why are probiotics important? You guys have an answer for that. And I really go into it in here and the different types, the main strains of probiotics that are really important to look at. So, and then liver detox supplements, fiber supplementation, Maca, my combination of adaptogens, and my Mighty Maca Plus, and what that does for us. And so, but probiotics, again, constipation is a really big issue. I can't get your hormones perfect if you're constipated. You're reabsorbing toxins. Heather asked, do you have a hormone supplement, HRT? So in what we're talking about with the hormone fix, that it takes more than hormones to fix your hormones. And I always talk about hormone replenishment versus replacement. And there are things that we can do naturally. And we do use some hormones in some of my products. Let's see. So DS is keto green, good for premenopausal women. Absolutely. We have girls with PCOS, teens. All my daughters have followed the diet. Again, if it works for a menopausal woman, it's good for all of us. And they're nutritionally balanced. Judy said, my urine pH is 5. Should I add baking soda? How many times a day? Add minerals first. Add minerals, water in between your meals, not with your meals, to dilute your digestive enzymes. Chew your food really well. Make sure you're getting enough minerals in your diet and the alkalinizing foods. That's really important. And check your pH at different times. Your exercise, you're going to have an acidic urine after you exercise. That's okay. That's normal. Your body's going to then kick in and repair. That is part of the process. But if you stay with that low pH of 5, you can risk the formation of healthy muscle and bone in those situations. So great questions, you guys. Oops. Mira, can you see if my phone just died? All right, you guys. So why do we, live video paused. Here we go. We may need to charge this back up. Thank you. Huh, I don't think that was it. Oh, reconnecting. Let's see. All right. This is multitasking extraordinarily. Multitasking. All right. Renee wrote in. Renee, big applause for you. Probiotics are essential for your gut health. It helps your natural immune system as well. It is good for gut health. It is good for vaginal health. It is amazing in general. Let's see. Um, Amy said, what about perimenopausal bleeding that lasts longer than 7 days? Any change to your normal cycle that you have to get that worked up. You have to get that worked up. That is just so important to get your cycle improved. I mean, and evaluated. Is it fibroid? Is it polyp? Amira, the Instagram died or something. Let's see. Huh, interesting.
No, you're still alive.
Oh, okay, good. All right. So, probiotics and the benefits of maca. You guys will see on my website where I talk about maca and mighty maca. Maca is an adaptogen. It is rich in arginine. It has specific proteins called macaines that are unique to it, which contributes to its amazing superfood qualities. It helps support your adrenals, and our combination of Mighty Maca Plus, clinically, we've seen an improvement of 70 to 200% in DHEA sulfate in the blood in 2 to 3 months. All right, chapter 5. What 4 things should you do each morning when you start the 10-day Keto Green Challenge? How are you guys doing with this? All right. Go through this. The 10-day Keto Green Challenge. It's beautiful. The second question is, what else is important besides to become alkaline besides eating certain foods? What's the most alkalinizing hormone of our body? Let's type that one in. That is my favorite hormone. We'll get to these chapters next. So, all right. Okay. So, the most important way to become alkaline besides eating certain foods, a good friend of mine, Ben Azadi, he talks about vitamin G, vitamin gratitude. So gratitude increases oxytocin, decreases cortisol. That is an important step to become alkaline. So I'm thankful for all of you being here. Also, another question here in your handout is, what is most important to remember if you fall off track? You didn't break anything. You didn't a failure. You just pick up where you left off. You're good to go. Just take one next right step. One of my favorite books, Anne of Green Gables. Anne says one day, she says, can't wait for tomorrow. It's a day with no mistakes in it yet. And I go, hey, I love that attitude. As part of life. All right. And then for Keto Green 16, for the Hormone Fix 10-day detox, another question is, what are 6 things you should do day 6 through 10 to support yourself into getting into ketosis? Beyond intermittent fasting, there are some other really key steps. All right, so chapters 3, 4, and 5 we went over today. And chapter 6 is on the 21-day continuity plan. So once you get through the 10-day detox, you go straight into a 21-day Keto Green maintenance plan to give your body more chance to detox, improve, support your own body's natural hormone production, right? It's like giving you ways to remove the toxic burden on your hormones, on your glands. It's incredibly helpful. So chapter 6 is that talks about getting what does keto adapted mean, and gives you your shopping list, some additional breakfast ideas. Now, chapters 7, 8, and 9, we're going to go over next week. And then the final week, we'll go through the final chapters. And this is really important. So next week, chapters 7, 8, and 9. Keep working on your 10-day. I mean, just do chapter 5 with your 10-day Keto Green Detox and see what results you get. Go back at the end of 10 days and take the hormone symptom quiz and the medical symptom questionnaire again and see how you're doing. I look forward to hearing from you after 10 days. What's your results? And then we get our Nancy Drew hats on, and we start figuring out, okay, well, where do we need to add, subtract, do something? Is there anything else we need to do? We just need to stay the course. It's really powerful. So chapter 7, we talk about toxic overload and hormone disruptors. Chapter 8, excuse me, lost my voice a few days ago. Chapter 8, it's stop stress from stressing you out. So it is probably one of the most important chapters. I could hardly get through reading it when I read the audiobook, but it is such an important chapter. Over 80%, 90% of all doctors' visits result from a stress-related complaint. Stress can aggravate, whether it's physical stress, real or perceived stress, emotional stress, relational stress. Affects our physiology, affects this amazing cathedral of our spirit that we have. And then chapter 9, we go through the vaginal health and getting your sexy back. So we're going to aim to do these 3 next week, or at least the next 2, and then 9 and 10 the week after, or 10 and 11 at the last week of the month, because the chapter 11, master your most important hormone, oxytocin, it's really important. All these great oxytocin increasing activities you guys can do. There are a lot of them. If you know of any oxytocin increasing activities you'd like to share about, please put that in the comments right now. Shirley asked, how would this help for lymphatic drainage? You're gonna have to remind me, Shirley, how would what help for lymphatic drainage? The dietary, reducing inflammation. That's a really big key piece. Supporting detoxification, reducing inflammation. The foods that are in the hormone fix that are designed to support phase 1 and phase 2 detoxification, and supplement with additional detoxification support. If your hormone symptom score or your medical symptom questionnaire, if those values are above 15, you need additional detoxification support. Don't wait till you have elevated CRPs or C-reactive proteins or whatever, or a diagnosis of something. So now through this week, next week, love you to get started in the 10-day keto green detox. You'll be in a perfect situation to do the Keto Green 16 challenge starting October. So I hope you guys do that with me there. There was question about any feedback about on mushroom coffees, weaning off coffee for the 16. I think that's a great option. There's dandelion coffee too. The one I use is called Dandy Blend, and that's a good option. So yeah, no, I like mushroom coffees. I'm not sure if we see any significant changes with urine pH with that. That's a good question, Kim. All right, you guys. So subscribe to my newsletter and to get the notes ahead of time. We'll make sure if you don't have them for some reason, just direct message my team, and they'll be sure you get it. We will be sending out another email before next Wednesday, 4 p.m. Central, same time, same place. We'll be doing another book club, and we'll go through the next 2 chapters. Let's see here. Let me look at the calendar real quick. We have book club this week, and next week is technically the last week of book club. So I'm going to scream through the next few chapters next week. Let me know if you want an extra book club week the following week, if you guys need more support for the rest of the book, or we want to finish the chapters through next week. This has been a month of book club, and we have the 27th at 4 p.m. scheduled in for next week's book club. So you guys, I hope to see you there. Let's see here. Huh? Part 3. All right. The mirror is telling me something. All right, you guys, thank you. Let's see. Do you know what will increase oxytocin? Sharon asked, would iodine drops help? They can help. And we're going to get you guys those handouts. Lucy said, thank you. Sharon said, how could constipation be caused by hormones? Constipation is often associated with hypothyroid, but it's also really associated with imbalanced, impaired microbiome, food sensitivities, and inflammation. And it's kind of like this double-edged thing. You've got constipation, it causes inflammation and toxicity symptoms, but yet you get, probiotics can really help with that. Magnesium, vitamin C, regular daily bowel movements are critically important for hormone balance. So that is a really big part of detoxification. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate all of you. Till next time. All right. Here. Let's see. Okay. Thank you also, Amy and Amira, for helping with book club. Cian said book club is amazing. You guys are great. Michelle said, do you recommend any specific test for gut health? And in chapter 2, I talk about the GI map test, which is probably my favorite gut stool analysis at this time. Yeah, Amy said the 10-day detox and the hormone fix will give you a head start on keto green. 16, perfect.
Thanks,
Nicole
Tommy.
said
Thanks, Amy.
oxytocin, exercise, rebounding, focused breathing. Yes, awesome. Deanna said huge increase in hugs, increase oxytocin. Yes, another way to increase oxytocin. Holly said playing with grandchildren. Yes, increase oxytocin. Gardening, hugs, sex. You got it, guys. Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Anna. You always keep my want to in check and motivated. Awesome. You guys are awesome. Thank you. All right, everyone. Till next time. Bye. Thank you, Jami. Big thank you, all you guys, for helping. See you